Hello, I'm Mark Miller. I'm the CEO of CONCEPTIVITY, a Swiss think tank in security, and I'm also the vice chairman of the European Cybersecurity Organization and the vice chairman of the European Organization for Security as well. And in addition, I'm a board member of the Cybersecurity Public-Private Partnership with the European Commission. I'm also for the purposes of this interview, I'm actually the work package 10 leader for CyberSec4Europe, and looking forward to explaining and sharing our achievements over the last months and where we're looking forward to aspects in the future. So one of the key, if not the key, events that are part of our work package is the convergence events, the consultation events that are part of our description of work for CyberSec4Europe. The event was held in December and actually involved more than 200 some odd participants. It was geared for looking at all of the aspects that the four pilot projects are working upon, and also included elements of all of the focus groups that were formed by the four pilots in the different focus group areas. The significance of this is that it is actually a snapshot picture for all of the stakeholders, all of the European institutions, and all of those who are concerned with what the pilots are doing. So the result has been that we've actually have proceedings from this event, which appear in our deliverable 10.2, which will also be on the CyberSec4Europe website, and you can see that. You can also see the fact that we had a number of high-level panels, and at the end, there was also a panel of where are we looking to the future. So Work Package 10 is addressing innovation. It's addressing community engagement. It's addressing how CyberSec4Europe interacts with the rest of the world, with the cybersecurity ecosystem. And as I'm also the vice chairman of the European Cybersecurity Organization, we also use what we do at the European Cybersecurity Organization as a further booster for the dissemination of what's going on within CyberSec4Europe. And as such, we have a very close relationship. At the same time, the European Organization for Security, which is an industrial organization, also provides a vector for dissemination of our activities in CyberSec4Europe. And during the past year, both organizations have been involved and have also published a number of elements in their newsletters, as well as during their events concerning what's going on with CyberSec4Europe and the four pilot projects. Those are our successes. I think that in order to answer this question, everything evolves. And I think that in some ways we have more than achieved what we expected to achieve with our work package. In that we always have seen the challenge of bringing the four pilot projects together. And our work package 10 is really one of the things at the core of work package 10 is bringing the elements of the four pilots together. Okay, yes, for purposes of actually going out there and sharing what we do with the world. That's the convergence event, but also in terms of the relationships with the focus groups, which also are part of the convergence event. So in a lot of ways, I think that we have exceeded by far the expectations of the project for Work Package 10, but by the same token, it hasn't occurred in the exact way as maybe we would have envisaged. And I think for the future, I'm more than encouraged that we're going to be able to use our final consultation event, which most likely will be entitled Convergence 2, as the way to show the results and achievements of all of the pilots together, and to do it in a way which also exposes the focus groups. And the focus groups are the outward representation of the cooperation between the four pilots and EXO, because EXO has also been included in the focus group work as well. The decision to put the Cybersecurity Competence Center in Bucharest is a decision that obviously has been awaited for a while. And it is a decision that does impact us in that, yes, we can now focus on what are the next steps. In a way, looking at the goals of Work Package 10, obviously, as soon as the Competence Center is operational or is being built, and yes, it is in that process currently, we can also make a direct connection with the Competence Center. And at that point in time, actually begin to feed and to receive input from those who are going to be responsible for their activities. Now, in some ways, this has been planned for because our consultation events are actually input into all of the activities that are going to be happening at the center. While at the same time, it could be interesting if there are certain areas that the center would like to be able to pursue, and we can help them either via the focus groups or via the work of our pilot or other pilots. There is an opportunity there to actually influence what happens in the future and how it all fits together. So, in the grand scheme of things, seeing the decision as important, and also we see the decision as relevant for us, we also see an opportunity to share our ideas, also to get feedback. So I think it does represent a unique situation, and it does represent our look to the future. Yes, it has. As I've said to a number of people, the virtual events actually are much more challenging to prepare for, to manage, and even the after event work is significant. So our deliverables and the things that we're actually doing in the CyberSec4Europe project have been impacted. And yes, I would say that the impact has been to make our requirements much more resource intensive, so that we're using a lot more human resource to actually address a virtual event and actually address the proceedings from the virtual events, not to mention all of the elements of the virtual event. Now, obviously, the CyberSec4Europe project does not have the costs, the physical cost of the conference, but at the same time, the amount of cost and resource involved is significantly greater than what we had initially planned. At the same time, it has presented some interesting opportunities in that some of the aspects are easier in terms of the actual event, because when the actual event occurs, we can actually get a larger audience than we would normally have with a purely physical event. So there are some benefits to the COVID-19 crisis in terms of being able to touch a larger audience at the same time. However, from the standpoint of the preparations, the actual management of the event itself, and the after event activities, including developing the deliverables and the other aspects, the additional burden is significant. That being said, I do think that given these challenges, we have actually been able, with our partners and with the CyberSec4Europe project management, been able to move forward and actually achieve significant picture with the deliverables that actually enhance the ability of those who are looking at what we were doing to see accurately the results, the achievements, and the cooperation among the different pilot projects in CyberSec4Europe and EXO.